Overseas and uniformed voters. The Uniformed and Overseas Citizens Absentee Voting Act, enacted by Congress in 1986, requires that the states and territories allow certain groups of citizens to register and vote absentee in elections for federal offices. Residents of Maryland who are part of the uniformed services or live abroad can register to vote and cast their ballots in Maryland. Who is an overseas voter? An overseas voter is a citizen who resides outside of the United States and its territories and, but for residents, would be otherwise qualified to vote in Maryland. If you reside outside of the U.S., you may vote in Maryland if Maryland was the last place you lived before moving outside the U.S. Even if you moved away years ago and haven't lived in the state since, you're still eligible to vote in Maryland. However, if you have never lived in Maryland, you are not considered as a resident of the state and are ineligible to vote here. As an overseas voter, what contests am I eligible to vote? For a U.S. citizen who lives overseas, the contests you can vote for will depend on whether you plan to return and live in the U.S. in the future. If you're an overseas voter and you plan to move to the U.S., even if you don't know when that will be, you can vote for all federal, state, and local offices. If you are completing a voter registration and absentee ballot request form, make sure to select, I am a U.S. citizen living outside the country, and I intend to return. If you don't plan to live in the U.S. again, you can vote for all federal offices. When completing the voter registration and absentee ballot request form, select, I am a U.S. citizen living outside the country, and my intent to return is uncertain. Federal offices consists of President and Vice President, the U.S. Senate, representatives to the U.S. Congress, and delegates to the national conventions. Who is a uniformed service voter? A uniformed service voter is a U.S. citizen who is a member of, or the spouse or dependent of a member of, the uniformed services, such as the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard, the Merchant Marines, the Commissioned Corps of the Public Health Service, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Are the National Guards and Reserve units considered a uniformed service voter? A member of the National Guard or Reserve unit is considered a uniformed services voter under the Uniformed and Overseas Citizens Absentee Voting Act. Their eligibility is confirmed if the voter is newly activated and mobilized and will be away from their residence on a more permanent basis. As a military voter, what contest am I eligible to vote for? Military voters and their spouses and dependents may vote for all federal, state, and local contests. American citizens who are also employees of the U.S. government serving outside of the United States and its territories are also qualified to vote for all federal, state, and local offices. This applies to the individual spouse or dependent. Also, if you're a member of the American Red Cross, Society of Friends, or USO serving with the armed forces outside of the United States, you can also vote for all federal, state, and local offices. Again, this also applies to the individual spouse or dependent. Uniformed and overseas voting holds significant importance as it safeguards the electoral rights of active duty military personnel, merchant mariners, and U.S. citizens residing abroad, along with their families. By enabling these individuals to register and cast their votes through absentee ballots in federal elections, the law guarantees their participation in the democratic process, regardless of their location due to service or residence. If you have questions, you can reach us at 410-396-5570. You can also email us at election.judge@baltimorecity.gov. We hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching.